What's good, everybody? Your boy Salty here. Just want to say welcome to all my new subscribers and a thank you to everybody that's supported so far. Now let's get into some I Don't Work Here, Lady. Lady lost her mind when I wouldn't clean her mat. So quick background. I live close enough to my mother that we do this CrossFit class together every Saturday. It's fun and we bond. The class is an hour long, and at the beginning we grab mats and weights. We tend to grab a few different types depending on the workout the guy assigns. You have to be early to this class because it's popular and me and my mom grab spots in the back. The class fills up and all the regulars take their spots. There isn't much room, but there is space in the front. For the first half hour, everything is going well. Then this lady comes in. She walks in the center of the room and stares at us, then goes to grab the mat. I head over to a station on the TRX and begin my set. When I come back, I see this lady has pushed my mat into my weights and has made herself a spot. My mom is livid, but I wave her off. Don't get me wrong, I'm annoyed, but it happens, and I continue the class. 5 minutes later, our instructor gives us the next set of workouts. I finish my workout on the mat and see there is a free TRX. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a rope you attach to the wall and do different exercises with. As I am pushing through a set, someone taps my shoulder. It's this lady. "You finished?" 10 I counted. Stop hogging. First of all, I did not. Secondly, our instructor has us go through the sets twice in a round, so I was planning to go through twice. Thirdly, there was a free one right next to me. I point out the free one and she rolls her eyes and says something snarky about how I wasn't being mindful of customers. She then demands that I show her how we are doing the workout. I kinda show her my form and then Mike the trainer comes by. She smugly looks at me and is like, "Good, someone is doing their job around here." I just shrug it off and try to finish my set in peace. I go back to my workout and don't have anything with her till the end of class. At the end, our instructor hands out wipes for us to clean our mats before we return them. My mom was returning the weights while I was wiping our mats. As I'm wiping my mom's down, a mat is thrown at me and lands on my hands. I'm on my hands and knees. I look up and it's this woman again. She's kinda smugly looking down at me, throws down her wipe, and then begins to walk away. I get up with her mat and hand it back to her. "Excuse me? That's not where you leave them." "What? You were cleaning them. You need to clean mine." Yeah, just this one and mine." "What makes her special?" She's my mom." "That doesn't matter. It's your job to clean these." I was kind of floored at the idea that I worked here. Only because I'm working on losing weight. I'm not obese, but I certainly don't have a trainer's body. I don't work here.
"Stop being bratty. It's clear you work here."
"What?"
"You clearly work here. I can see your uniform. Plus, you were helping that woman the whole time."
For the record, the supposed uniform was black leggings and a black tank, and there wasn't one. Me picking up my mat and my mom's. "I do not work here. Leave me alone." She then begins screaming the instructor's name and he comes up, with my mom right behind him. She has seen some of the stuff and was pretty much over this lady's crap. Mike, on the other hand, has no idea. He can tell from my face that I'm annoyed. "Mike, what's going on?"
"You need to fire this woman. She is refusing to clean my mat and spent the whole lesson ignoring me."
Mike, who at this point understands my annoyance. She doesn't work here, but I can clean your mat. I should also tell you that we don't clean mats in the future." At this point, the lady huffs out and marches downstairs. I think that's the end of it. Tell my mother and I go down to see this woman screaming at the front desk. She sees me and then points.
"Her, get that brat fired."
She used brat way too much. The front desk guy is this pretty innocent kid, probably in high school. She doesn't work here, ma'am." At this point, her face is as red as it gets. She screams and then walks out. My mom made us wait till she left the parking lot, probably for the best. I'm surprised they stayed so calm, like, I couldn't keep my composure in that type of situation. She would have been called a lot of words. I'm not an employee or cutting in line, crazy person. My husband and I went to the giant American wholesale store, sort of like Most to Smo today, and it was packed. I couldn't find one item I wanted on our first pass through, but I was worried about making it to an appointment on time, so I said forget it and we got in line to check out. There were 3 people ahead of us, all with packed carts, so I decided to run back to one of the aisles we didn't check to see if I could find it. I didn't find the thing I wanted, but I did find a giant bottle of hot sauce for cheap, so I grabbed that and hustled back towards the checkout. This is where the crazy lady who just wants to be mad at the world comes in. I'm weaving my way through the madness that's the checkout lanes and finally get to my husband, who has just reached the conveyor belt where you load your groceries so they can be scanned. I show off the bottle of hot sauce I found and put it with our other stuff. When this brat starts snapping her fingers at me, except I don't realize she's doing it at me because this place is a madhouse, right? Until she gets about 2 inches from my face.
"Excuse me?" If you can get him something, you can get me a bag of potatoes. The red ones, not yellow.
Granted, this place doesn't have a uniform, and we live in an area where hair dyed unnatural colors and lots of piercings and tattoos are common, so it's not like I couldn't be employed there. Except I was missing a name tag, and I'm pretty sure the employees don't go fetching items or participating in PDA with customers. I was just gaping at her while my brain attempted to figure this situation out, but fortunately my husband stepped in and said, "She doesn't work here, she's my wife, and she was just getting one more thing. And you're being incredibly rude." Instead of apologizing or being embarrassed like a sane person, this woman then puffed up her chest and flared her nostrils.
Well, then you're cutting in line.
Husband pointed out that he had been with the cart the whole time and I literally got one more thing. At this store, you go to buy a bunch of stuff in bulk, so most people have a large packed shopping cart. A single item isn't going to add more than a second or two. Somehow being called out made this woman fly into rage, and she went storming off to find a manager, leaving her cart unattended. So once husband and I had all our stuff ready to check out, the guy behind Crazy Woman passed her unattended cart and started putting his own stuff on the conveyor belt. Just one more thing to convince me never to go back to this store. Wow, I can't even believe this story. It's so ridiculous, but then I can, because I've been to Walmart before. Another department's manager doesn't know my name, rages when I don't answer her. This isn't the usual "I don't work here, lady" story, where a member of the public demands you serve them, but it's in the same spirit. When I was a teenager, I worked in the general merchandise department of a major UK supermarket, i.e. TVs, CDs, homeware, etc. Basically anything other than food, toiletries, and cleaning stuff. This role meant I was trained to use the till, but the majority of my work was stocking shelves and recording stock in the warehouse. In this supermarket, as I'm sure in the case with most others, when things got busy, the checkout manager would call over the tannoy to request help from all trained staff, or specific staff members by name. When this happened, you normally had to drop what you were doing to go sit on the tills until the queues were reduced. One Saturday afternoon, I heard a call over the comm for someone whose name was vaguely similar to mine, but not the same. Let's say Adam instead of Andrew. I pay no attention to it and continue working on my stock check in the warehouse. When I return to the shop floor about 20 minutes later, the checkout manager marches up to me and yells that she told me to come down and I have to do what she says. I told her I never heard her call me, at which point she says something along the lines of, "Don't lie, Adam, you must have heard me." At this point, it clicks that she doesn't know my name despite me having worked there for 6 months, regularly interacted with her, and had my name on her list of till trained staff. So I calmly tell her my name is Andrew, not Adam. She doesn't accept this, and we get into a bit of an argument where she is convinced my name is Adam and that I'm messing her around. I told her to check with the duty manager, my line manager, or any of the super managers in her team, as I knew them all. I then walked off to resume my work. At age 17, it felt a bit dangerous to walk away from a manager who was having a go at you, but I was in the right and knew I could easily get one of the other managers on my side if she tried to punish me. I worked at this place for about a year after this incident, and at least once every couple months I would hear, "Adam to the checkouts." I knew full well that she was asking for me, but never once answered the call out of principle, and when she inevitably had a go at me, I inevitably told her she didn't ask for me. After a few months of this, she finally spoke to my manager about disciplining me, to which my manager obviously told her she had it wrong. She started using my actual name after that, but spoke to me like I was a piece of dirt every time she saw me. Gotta love it when vindictive, incompetent people get into small positions of power. Good way to stick up for yourself and not just bow down and let her call you whatever the hell she wants. I don't work here, lady. Walmart adventure. So this only happened a couple hours ago, around 9 p.m. I had a crazy craving for Bratch Conversation Hearts. You know, the little candy hearts that taste like chalk that nobody seems to like, but I'm that weirdo who does. After having visited 4 stores, I had almost given up until I made my last-ditch effort, which was to go to Walmart, since I hate going to that store. I did have some other shopping to do, but unless I had the hearts in my hand, I wasn't going to grab a cart. I managed to find a guy who actually worked there, and he was really nice and showed me where the hearts were. I grabbed 5 bags because I'm a sugar fiend and head off to grab a cart. After grabbing a cart, I'm grabbing some stuff like you naturally do in a Walmart. Prior to leaving, my mother had asked me to get her some cookies, so I'm by the bakery taking pictures of them and sending them off. When I grab whatever items I'm going to buy, I always grab the item from the bottom of the bag because in my mind, I always think that not as many people have messed with it. While I'm at it, I do try to make the table the cookies were on look a little bit better for the next person. I walk over to the cart, which was right next to where the butter was. This Walmart is really weird and small, and was looking at my phone and jotting off what I still needed here. No less than 5 seconds do I hear a very loud, "Excuse me?" Now, I had not looked up because I foolishly thought that it had nothing to do with me. When I heard it again, I began to feel frightened, but I still kept my head down and pretended to be an ostrich. Never fear, just be an ostrich. The third time, what followed that banshee cry was a forced shove of my cart into my gut. Here's the following exchange. Me will be me, and Crazy Lady will be CL.
Finally, you look up. I need to find something, and if you didn't look down at your phone so much, maybe you'd actually do your job.
Look, I don't work here, lady. I literally said the name of this sub to her.
Yes, you do. Don't lie.
I cut her off by this point. Look, I'm wearing pictures of 2 disco balls, and each of them are on my tits. Do you see any other employee who have disco tits? Do you? While I was saying this, I pulled my jackets back so you could see that I indeed have disco balls on my tits.
Well, you were just stalking that table there. Why else would you clean it up?
Maybe I did that because I'm a decent person? By this point, the cool employee who had helped me find the candy had walked up and asked what's going on, and before I could, she had told him how lazy I was and that I should be fired. He told her again that I did not work there, and after hearing this, she had swung her hand as if to knock down all the butter on the shelf, but instead hit her hand on the actual metal shelf. Her cries of pain were so loud it nearly shattered my eardrums. I stepped back and so did the employee. We were both afraid to do anything. This had caused quite a bit of commotion and other shoppers were looking. She clutched her hands and stooped over, all the while saying, "She did this to me!" The security guard who had been at the front of the store came over and did not have an ounce of sympathy for her. He told her that since she was disruptive to the other shoppers and that she had purposefully tried to destroy merchandise, she could either leave willingly or he would physically escort her out. While she was walking out, she began calling all 3 of us every name in the book and kept screaming to have me fired along with calling corporate. I was apologized to and offered a discount, which was nice, but I declined. I was just so happy that this experience was over. It had felt like a bad dream. I am now home in my bed typing this out while eating my candy. For those of you who are curious as to what the shirt looks like, here it is. And we have the disco tits. Yeah, boy. Definitely needed that picture for proof. Would not have even believed that story if it wasn't for the picture. Just saying. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know in the comments what y'all want to see next. And hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Peace.